boys or something. Cause
Hey guys, we're live officially here at Carefree Bar and Grill. Um,
oh, good lord! I mean,
got
hello.
Scott and Jasper with us. So shout out to Tabala, our sponsor,
Well, food for thought now, right?
and we also have the owners, Carefree Bar and Grill. Do you guys want to make a quick intro?
Hi, I'm Cynthia. My husband Jerry. Hi.
Thank you guys so much for allowing us to be here today. And obviously our goal is to help support small and local. And with everything that's been going on, a lot of the staple restaurants like even what is it, Fargo's,
Western Omelet, Java Punk, all of them went under.
Oh man, yeah, and then restaurants.
She's fighting it. Yeah. You had all of these places that are really hurting.
Yeah.
And you guys are pulling a strong vision right now.
Yes. Thank you for your support. Absolutely. So guys, if you are tuning in, if you're watching this live, type in #live. If you're catching this on the replay, #replay. But ultimately, we're asking for you to come up here, support a small and local business. It's family oriented. The entire family's working here. You got mom doing the deliveries, right? You got the spouse combo here. You're running the kitchen. You're running the front end. You got who else working here?
My daughter does delivery. Mom's a prep cook. And,
oh man!
Yep.
Man.
We have a niece and nephew running around. Our grandson becoming around.
Oh man! Yeah. No, that's awesome because I ran a family restaurant when I was younger, right? And my dad and I were there on the weekends while my mom ran it throughout the weekdays. And I remember testing like eggplant parmesan at 10 years old and hating it, right? So she couldn't rely on me to give her proper tasting and things like that because I mean, what 10-year-old likes eggplant? You know what I mean? But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time spent, together. But it's a big dream. It's a big vision. All those things. So we're just happy to be here as part of the process to help and support you guys, and we're gonna do everything that we can. And again, this is why we're doing this here. So thank you. No, it's our pleasure. With that being said, guys, they've blessed us with here some amazing meals. So we're gonna go ahead and showcase that here. Yes, that would be great. I just need to figure out how to put the cam on here. It didn't turn off. I wasn't showing there for a bit. Okay. So it's not gonna let me flip the camera. 1 second though. I do need to get to update this on Facebook.
Guys, this food's so beautiful.
I know, it looks incredible. And you guys know that, like, as a foodie, I've been struggling not being able to eat amazing foods.
For you because check that out.
Oh, is that your phone? I was like, oh no. What is this?
These are fried bread, I believe, that they make with they can do it with cinnamon and sugar or powdered sugar. And it's a berry sauce or a chocolate fudge sauce.
Okay, that looks incredible.
There's something else really cool about this place that I wanted to share that I don't feel like it's been highlighted really well. It's
sorry, man, it's right here. I can't tell. Is it this way? Oh.
Here's where the imperfect action comes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So they got, I believe.
Oh, it's up there. And now I'll have to put my code in to unlock it. Terrible.
I love it.
Technical.
I know.
Exactly what we're doing in my car.
Oh, good.
Well, actually, I'll hold it. Okay, because I'm going to show it up this wall in a second. Okay. So, what I was going to say is what's really cool about this place is they used a local tattoo artist here. I believe, if if I butcher this, I'm so sorry, but I think they're called Pious Fallen Warriors, right? And a lot of people actually know this tattoo artist, but they created, is it Pious?
Yes, Art is his name. He
P-A-E-S
works at Fallen Heroes.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that's awesome. So it's Paes art, right? They work with Fallen Heroes, and they did this entire wall mural behind us. So this restaurant's super cool because one, it's Native American owned,
You want to show?
female owned. Sure, I'll show them. And well, it's family owned, but power to women moving cash, right? I'm just walking off with their camera. I'm gonna show you guys this mural because it's amazing. Let's see. There we go. So again, local tattoo artists, y'all should come check this out because the colors are incredible. And they built this restaurant from the ground up. They put almost $300,000 into this, building this restaurant back up, which I think is just gorgeous. Hi, Matt. And there's some other really cool things to see. They created an entire Christmas village. I just stole y'all's thing. I'm so sorry. So gorgeous tree, right? But then check out this village. So if you guys want a really nifty local spot to come check out, Carefree Bar and Grill, and we're all here right now. I'm giving back over the street.
All right, guys. So let's showcase here the food that we have here. This one is the Philly, right?
Yeah, the bison Philly, I believe.
The bison Philly burger. Out of practice, very much, Garrett. Very much so. This is the first live back, so good to see you, man. Hope all is well. So we showcase the bread. This is a 3-meat chili. I love chili. In fact, actually, one of my employees made us a bowl of chili. Or where are we going? A bowl of chili while we were out, and big shout out to Heather Troublefield because that bowl of chili was probably like the best chili that I've had. I don't know if it's because I couldn't taste for a while, because I haven't eaten chili in a while. Yeah.
Long time.
All of those things, dude. It was so good.
We got the nachos coming here.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, these nachos, like, this is, it says Carefree Bar and Grill, but I'm telling you, the food is crazy. And so we can't wait to jump in here, dive in, and get all this stuff here. So, that being said, if you have been here before, tell us what are some of your favorite things off the menu. Yeah. Come on in, man. And so this is Matt.
Oh, you're doing a little stream.
We're doing a live, yeah. Yeah. So,
where's this getting streamed at?
Facebook right now. Facebook and YouTube, and then
They're all mine's on Twitch.
Yeah, so we're building a whole platform.
I'm in the process of building my whole automation for the live feeds and stuff.
Perfect.
It's a pain in the
Yeah, well, let's talk, man, for sure. We'll be able to do that. And so tell us a little bit about you, Matt.
Oh. Yeah, I'm here to support this Carefree Bar and Grill and all that good stuff. Awesome food, phenomenal. Can't say anything. Give me a second. There's food everywhere. So yeah, I'm here to support them, and then I have a couple different networks myself. I have the 719 network. I have Colorado Springs Food Guide, Branch Out Colorado Springs, a music group called The Music Theory, super cool. Got a podcast we're launching here in the next week. Well, they're supposed to launch by the end of the year, but you know how these things go. You start messing with technology, next thing you know, you're a month later and all that other good stuff. But my friend runs an awesome podcast called Coffee with Humans. It's a show about nothing where basically you just go on and talk about, just life. So yeah, that's about me. And then
We love that. We actually have a podcast of our own called The Dreamer Cipher. And it's a Facebook Live. It's completely unscripted, basically for a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners. Basically having those conversations that people are having either at the bars or at the golf course, but maybe are afraid to put online. you know. And so sometimes it's talking about maybe your struggle in the business, or and looking for advice. Maybe you're a new entrepreneur or the business world and looking for some assistance and some help. But sometimes it turns into conversations about like coffee enemas or the sunning community. Have you ever heard of that?
psychology.
Do you know what polymath is?
I don't know.
Okay, Leonardo da Vinci was a
I love all numbers.
well, it means you're well versed in everything. Yeah, not love all numbers. You would think that, you know, right? Yeah, it sounds like it,
This
but
Buffalo Phillies thing is so
it's so weird. I had one.
just falls apart.
I know. I had one last time I was here. It was
Sorry, okay, go back to polymath
Yes,
and
sorry.
coffee enemas.
I should put my life to too. Not my life to
Let's get it.
Yeah, taking some photos real fast here.
We'll have Cynthia come over here and talk a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely want to highlight something. Honestly, like I love the ambience in here. You walk in here, she's got the Christmas decorations. She's got
She's got that little kid.
yeah, she's got
there
places for
too,
kids.
so.
You know, it's again family oriented. So don't let the word bar, you know,
No, it's
distract you.
restaurant.
Right?
It's a
Yeah,
restaurant.
it is. It's a completely restaurant.
Well, I think it's
The restaurant
Carefree
and
Bar and
bar.
Grill.
Yeah.
But
But sometimes people get turned off by the word bar because they just assume like, oh, it's bar food. I'm like, no. If you look at this, if you taste this, it's amazing.
fire food.
Yes,
Call it fire.
fire food. I like that.
And big shout out, right? Because two things. This is in Village 7's backyard, right? And a lot of people in Village 7 don't know about it yet.
I can remember here. I actually used to have to walk to Sabin.
I know,
Right
Jared
down the
bought
street.
one too.
I used to walk from home to Sabin Middle School every single day.
Oh my God. See, and I'm like right in the
Look at
background.
That's what Garrett got. I don't know how high tech his is, but
Yeah, they're all the same. If you get one, get one. But they actually just put tariffs on DJI from China, so their drones are not going to be as easily accessible as they were. I guess I should just have a food guide, right?
some bacon and my goodness. And then
I
it's
had to get a
three.
bison burger again because the last time I had it, it was on point. And as you guys know, I'm having trouble eating. I usually just stick to rice right now. It's like one of the only meat I'm actually able to have, which I love.
Which is unique when you think about that.
You have no idea. Just to be able to even taste a French fry.
Oh my God.
I did. I got the bid.
Shout out to Patrick coming back on. I told him it's good to have him back in the mix. So, you know, it was interesting to go 3 weeks by myself.
Especially every single day. Hey, Scott, can you drive out to Fountain?
You did a good job. I appreciate that. And
Like one of the Dreamer Cypher, I ended up going by myself. So
Oh,
delicious food though. Come out, try it.
You did one of those.
But you can see back there in the back, you can see the little Christmas village going on. So yeah, no, it's a good little setup.
so Cynthia is a like incredibly talented and passionate person, but she's also very introverted. And so when I met her, you can't tell I'm kind of high energy, right? Within like 48 hours, we started rolling really quick because she was going under fast. Some of her stories absolutely incredible though, right? So she opened this right before the first shutdown. She had no idea about it. And all of the money, because she had a really great business plan when she did this, all of the money that she had set aside for marketing, that she had set aside for these things, right, went right into being rent, essentially. And last month, she sold the only thing she owned, which was her home, just to roll over funds to keep this afloat one more month and pay off rent.
She was telling Patrick and I that she's got January covered, but once February comes around, it's one of those things that trying to figure out and whatnot. So
And I want to give a huge shout out with 719 Co. and Rockstar because they heard her story, came and gave her $2,000. And, you know, from any restaurant owner, right, that's not a lot, but it helps. And that's
And the news station came out.
The fact that the community is coming together in any kind of collaborative way to make this happen is absolutely incredible. There's 2 cameras on me, and I'm very uncomfortable now.
Wow, you're like a superstar now.
Yeah, I can't. Let's now become with Matt. Here we go.
I didn't come here for that. I'm on live feed all the time. I'm like,
I told Matt, I'm like, all of the stuff I need to talk on now, I'm putting his face on. Because I'll be over here like her nose.
yeah. I mean, I'll go on wherever you want. I got you. I will. I'm happy to sit on a live feed or wherever you guys want me or whatever.
Are you on Twitch?
I am. I just got.
We might need to do some collaborations on Twitch.
I just got my Twitch account. It's my real estate stuff. It's called Colorado Real Estate. So that's my Twitch. People don't actually know about Twitch. Twitch is legit.
I
So
was on Twitch for 2.5 years. It taught me how to build a business.
yeah, so Twitch is one of my favorite new platforms and everything else like that. Just due to the fact, I mean, it's got streaming, gaming, stuff like that. What people don't understand is Twitch. The best part about Twitch is the live music that they have. You can get
All the
stuff.
superstars.
Yeah, the superstars are jumping on Twitch nowadays, and then like Facebook, if we have some music going on.
I'm worried if it's got any kind of chilies or peppers, I'm allergic. So tell me now, because those jalapenos will kill me.
Okay, well then I don't.
But I have
know.
a bison burger coming, so.
I don't remember. So. You don't want to lose Jasper. I would be sad. Yeah, especially with everything. So.
Y'all are so busy. Like I don't even know how I became an admin on this thing. Next thing I know, it was like dropped in my lap, and I was like, I got you.
That's because you said I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Next thing.
Dan Dreyfus is doing all the collections for the different businesses. Thank you so much. Thank you.
This chili is legit.
Awesome. It's got bacon.
Everything's legit.
Oh, it's so good. I'm like, dang, this place is so good.
It's Native American infused. It's delicious.
I know.
I got the bison burger, and I love grilled onions and mushrooms on my burger, and she kills it. Like, I don't know if y'all can see this, but I can't handle most burgers. This thing drives me insane.
I may be one of the few, but I love when stuff falls out of my burger. Right? Because it's good. And like all the stuff, all the toppings are in there. When it falls out, you're like, oh man, this is legit.
All you need is another set of buns. You got a whole other sandwich.
Right? Exactly.
That bison chili I had that last time, and that thing is ridiculous.
You guys use cheese whiz on it? Like in
We do.
yeah,
Grilled cheese whiz.
love it. Love it.
Yep, and the pulled pork is smoked pulled pork that we make at home, and he smokes it for 14 hours.
Oh my
The sauce is wajapi, which is different mixed berries that we reduce down with honey with the fry bread bites, and I make the dough every
Mind the way.
morning.
Sorry.
She says I'm sideways. What does that mean?
You can, yeah.
You go sideways.
You gotta like play with the phone to get it back to. It's one of the- yeah, because the comments they should be coming up. Yeah, now you'll be fine, but
Yeah, but then I can't see everything.
it's all good. Your phone, it's. Do you have it set up in your settings where once you flip it, it should
I
adjust?
don't know why I didn't do it that time. Sometimes these things are dumb. Oh wait, now it's working.
You can't turn your phone
Rotate your phone. You can't see
It does that all the time.
So you can't record and try to rotate your phone. Good luck.
Does it not work? Am I still sideways?
You're still sideways. And the video that you guys did earlier, I told Jasper, I was like, you guys were sideways the whole time.
The whole time we're
Yeah.
sideways?
So,
Oh shit.
oh,
See, I need somebody like y'all to help me. This is too much for me, all this technology crap. I did finish up my, I build social automation systems and everything else like that, which is a pain in the ass. I don't think you ever had to build one of those. So I got there's 8 programs that are all working together as one, you know what I mean? So, cause you got one, like Facebook doesn't like Twitter and, so they hate each other. So you have to find a way to make them marry each other without, so.
well, it's like Instagram, you can feed stuff from Instagram to Facebook, but you can't feed stuff from Facebook to Instagram, which makes no sense that they're the same entity under Facebook's umbrella.
There's completely different coding.
They don't care. I think it's just, yeah, and you're not going to change the coding for, once you're built, you buy it, it's moving on, you know what I mean? So what we did is, so yeah, I was like, I've been pulling my hair out trying to finish this stupid program. So I finally finished it. By the time I was done, I was like, man, I got like 7 programs running just to run all these systems. You know what I mean? And now I'm onto the live stream side, which is a whole nother animal. Fortunately, people like y'all know how to do it and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah. And again, it's not perfect, you know.
Imperfect action.
yeah, I have we have like I said, I have a podcast coming out, The Mood Theory, and then my buddy already has a very successful podcast called Coffee with Humans. He's my co-host on it, and
I wanted to introduce someone who just showed up. She had no idea I was here, but this is a friend of mine. This is Christy.
hey, Christy, how are you? Nice to meet you.
There we go. This is Patrick and Scott. They're with Two Native Sons. They do a podcast here. They're local, they're highlighting local businesses. And if you're on, my Facebook at all, then you're getting inundated and spammed with it. I know. Matt is doing several different streams and has put together, oh my God, he's like Go Man 101. But Christy heard about this through FBC Minute, which is really exciting. And that's with Charity McPike, right? So she's been blasting out for local businesses and really trying to support them as well. And Christy had no idea I was even here. Showed up to help with the toy shop.
Awesome. We love that. That's awesome.
Oh, we got Marcus. You gotta pull a chair up now. Or pull up another table.
Oh, I guess I didn't put my camera to where it switched over. I didn't even think of that. I've been so busy, like I can't even tell you how much of a pain in the ass this thing was to build. I was like, Nice to meet you.
Got our funny man here.
Yeah, I got it. So another thing, if it's okay. Come over here, just give it all the news and
please
resources.
do, because I'm stuffing my face because this food is so good.
So this is Marcus Benjamin, right? He's a comic, and he's also my roommate, which is super exciting for me because that means I get to laugh, which I do most of the time because I'm usually tripping on the stairs, which that's another point. But working with Reeds in some capacity, right?
Yeah, very closely. I know the owner. Yeah, he lets me know. He actually runs a lot of the comics by me. A lot of the events, and I try and give him advice. But I mean, as far as
I might say something funny. Do something funny.
Oh my gosh, it's harder when somebody goes, hey, do something funny. You're like, Jared has
You should just talk about your experience when where was it? Was it Chicago or Philly that you went? Atlanta? Talk about that.
Right before you go into that, I want to give a big notice here for anybody watching, right? There is going to be a meeting Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. at 3 East Comedy Club. It is for Shutdowns, Ruined Towns. SRT is the hashtag on that. 719 Co is heading that meeting. So if anybody wants more areas to put, some ideas together to look at resources, Green Comedy Club, 7 p.m. this Tuesday.
Yeah, let's show up and show out for small local businesses, guys.
Exactly.
Let's go. And grow.
I love
Are you
it.
throwing some comedy at that place? Or?
no, I wasn't planning on it. But,
He wasn't planning on it until I talked to Patsy and he talks to Eric, and then I'm gonna make him do something funny on stage.
I have some new jokes I need to learn.
Well, there you go. You might as well throw those jokes out there. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear your story in Atlanta. Patrick and I now.
Oh, probably not.
Oh, he needs a happy animals. Here we go.
Yeah, that's Canadian. We have a lot of horrible moments, a lot of good moments, most bad. I know some veteran comedians that they're like, yeah, I've been doing this 30 years. It's been going good for 4 years.
Oh, that's my dating life.
So yeah, I bombed one of the hardest times I did in Atlanta. Just to start, I get to this place. We don't know where it's at. It's supposed to be a music performance. So already right off the rip, I shouldn't be trying to do comedy there. I get there, and right out front, there's this homeless person pitching his ass on the curb. Like a puppy. Hands down.
Oh my goodness.
we look at it, we're just like, you know, let's not let that ruin our time. And we pass him as he's giving us like a thumbs up, like,
Oh, man. No, this is not. Nope.
Right, no, he did not have a mask on. I don't think he's ever worn one.
Get that butt Rona.
Well, at least the grass in Atlanta is nice.
Oh,
It's better in Colorado grass.
2021, but
But so we go inside. Immediately greeted by this. He couldn't have. I swear to God, he couldn't have been more than like 17 years old. And this little like kid comes up to us and starts like flexing on us, like right when we walk in. He's just like, "Hey, yo, dog, who you here with, dog?" And we're just like,
are you messing with this shit?
yeah.
"Are you allowed to be in here? Why is this child flexing on me?" And he's just like, "Who you here with?" And for some reason, I don't know, he was very aggressive. So I started to answer him. I'm like, I was invited by, and then I said, "Why am I answering this kid?" You know, and so I call one of the bartenders. I'm like, "Who is this kid?" They're like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Guess
He's here every day.
yeah, I guess that just
He's
happens
the
here."
mini muscle.
This is a 17-year-old bouncer that y'all run your plans by. So we ignore that. We finally get our drinks, and a guy, he comes up to us, and because we were at a show prior, tells us why he wanted us there. He was just like, "Hey, you're really funny. We wanted you to be a hype guy for the rappers." And I'm like, "So cool. I've never been like a hype guy before, you know, like in the background making noises, drinking shots, like part of like a posse, you know, like crew." It was really fun for a while.
It's really the entourage.
Yeah.
You're a different comedian to bossy.
I'm now the entourage.
Even if they did bad, I have to like gas them up, you know, like they did horrible, no one cheered. I'm like, "That was fire."
That's funny. So
Woo! You know, and so I'm doing that for a while. They're giving me free shots. Now I'm drunk. Now they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're a comedian, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You want to go on stage?" I'm like, "No." The vibes for that. Everyone's up dancing and like, just not ready for jokes. And they're like, "No, bullshit. Come on, drag me on." And just as I'm going out, it's a really cool song that's playing. It's by Bobby Shmurda. It's called Hot Nigga. Okay. And if you know this song, there's a dance to it, which means everyone was up dancing. Then they bring me out, just shut all that down. Comedian out of Colorado. Who? Who are you? And they started like getting really aggressive. I'm just like, kind of said it in the intro. I'm Marcus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
The show was going as good as like this is going right now. Not just,
I think it's going great. This is great. You're doing perfect.
and
They got off of imperfect action.
Yeah.
They believe if you're not failing in some horrible manner, it's not going okay. Please continue to fail forward.
they were getting really violent. Really, like I was just starting to analyze the place. Okay, there's people rolling blunts.
The Atlanta crowd, they're rolling blunts and getting violent. I've never heard of that with weed. That's a different kind of weed in Atlanta.
And, I'm just trying to win them over. So like, I realize they hate me. So I'm like, okay, let me try and like try something new. So I come out, you know, try to come with some swag. I'm like, all right, I know y'all want to keep chilling. Let's get these jokes out of the way. And they're like, who are you? I'm like, oh, he's really close to the stage. Get him. So again, a lot, and I try to go into a joke. I'm like, a lot of people wonder what my ethnicity is, and it was just like, yeah, what hood you from? And I'm just like, I didn't know what to say. And he's like, where's your grandmama stay? And I'm like, and so
I imagine it's kind of like that Kevin Hart where he was like, I only got one move, and if you can't get past this, you know, and he's like, you know, when he starts shaking that, that's exactly what I took every time you do that, man. That's hilarious.
yeah, so I'm half black and half white, but like when like hood guys challenge me, all the white comes out.
So it's like the opposite. You're like, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, I'm so sorry.
I'm like, oh, my grandmother, she's deceased. My grandmother's deceased. I'm so sorry. Very upset.
He's like, I know what you were saying, dog.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, what you talking about?
You were saying, dog.
Just not feeling good, and I'm just like, sir, if you could, and I'm just like, they hate me. They hate me. Someone take the mic. As soon as the guy comes out and takes the mic, they just turn music on and everyone starts dancing, and I just like slowly
Falling out the back door.
I'm still trying to figure out. So that never happens. So you're looking at nightclub. Right? So you're at a nightclub, everybody's dancing. A ghetto nightclub, and they're playing some song that everybody dances to, and then they decide to put you on stage after the song, and they're like, hey, this is a great idea. I'm gonna put the comedian on.
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds
during a
horrible.
music performance, and the rappers were doing really good too. They should have just let them.
Oh, there's rappers and everything. Yeah, they definitely didn't want to hear you. They weren't.
They were like, "Who's this hype man trying to tell jokes?"
Yeah.
So bad. I can't believe
This was not part of the show plan.
I've never heard of a rap show that turns into a comedy club.
I know.
You know what I mean? If that's it, I just can't see the.
Unless you have a name for yours, like I'm sure if they brought out Dave Chappelle, everyone would have started cheering. You know, you can't just bring out some random guy.
They should have said, that's what they should have done. They should have been like, here's Dave Chappelle Jr.
It's just in the context of comedy. There's an applause. There's something. They just turned off the music and then put me on there, and like usually people cheer. It was just like, okay, go.
My favorite nights are when he comes back and it just went horribly wrong, right? Like everything went wrong on stage. And then he's like, God, that was horrible. And I'm like, cool, tell me about it. That's what I want to know about. How
I
bad
don't care
was
about the
it?
good shows. Let's
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
the shit.
let's get real.
Did you get a rash?
Yourself in.
Did you get a rash? She's all excited for your misery.
I don't see any black eyes. This must not have been that bad.
She's like, it wasn't Atlanta. I want to hear some better stories. We're sending you to Compton.
I'm like,
Like, tell me about it.
So, real quickly, for maybe people who are tuning in now, talk about your experiences with Bridget and Carefree Bar and Grill, and just kind of, I think you probably know her better than most here, and so just.
well, so Cynthia's the owner, and she has, so for those who don't know, right, we're streaming right now from Carefree Bar and Grill. Come join us. We're supporting them because people have been asking, right? And I'm going to give you a little bit of background here. I own a food truck for like less than 5 months. Very new, right? But somehow it has gotten me into the food community, which I've never been part of before. But there is so much collaboration among the food community and restaurants in general. It's absolutely incredible. So Black Forest Bistro, with Deanna introduced me to Cynthia. Didn't even know she's 0.3 miles from my house.
Big
So
shout out to Deanna for all the stuff she's doing too, along with you.
exactly, and she is heading Joseph O'Keefe, one of the lawyers. Look at that.
What is that?
Wait, do that again. You look at me look like Rudolph. I'm putting where my nose is. I will be Rudolph. But anyway, right? So Joseph O'Keefe is the lawyer that's actually taking he's taking, I believe, 2 or 3 restaurants. I'm not sure, but I know he's taking Black Forest Bistro's case and filing a lawsuit against Polis,
I
right?
already have it. Yeah, I have the paperwork. They already filed. I got emailed the paperwork on it. They've already filed a lawsuit against Polis already. So I love that.
Look at that happiness.
It's just the idea. It makes me so happy. He deserves it.
Yeah.
He so deserves it.
Well, I think there was like something that's not talked about, right? Last year, they introduced 27 or 44 bills all against business owners. As a local business owner, to me, that's super frustrating that, they're putting more pressure on us as business owners to take care of things that really are kind of irrelevant, and also pertinent. Like you can't ask for somebody if they've had a background or a criminal history now, right? Which is
Which
crazy.
is tough when you're
right?
trying to run a business.
Especially
Well,
a
and it doesn't
family-oriented
make sense,
business, right?
Because that's actually part of when it comes to taxes, right? If you're employing someone who does have a criminal background, that's actually a tax reduction. So you actually have to report that in some cases. So it's very difficult. There's also there's several things going on, but again, for those who are tuning in, let me wrap up real quick a little bit more about Carefree Bar and Grill, right? Introduced to me again, Black Forest Bistro has been really helping with getting other businesses highlighted. And that's true collaboration, in my opinion, right? Is when you put yourself aside for a moment and you highlight someone else who needs it more. And that's what so many people, almost every single person here has done in some capacity too. Well, Carefree Bar and Grill has a really interesting story because she's worked in bars her entire life as a bartender, and then finally was like, this is what I know and do my entire life. I want the dream of owning a bar and restaurant. And truly, it's a restaurant with a bar. Like, it's called Bar and Grill, but the food's phenomenal.
I can't get over how good the food is.
Yeah, the food's phenomenal. The layout is incredible. Like, the floors are beautiful. They put, again, about $300K rebuilding this place from the ground up. But she opened this back in, I believe, February, right before the first shutdowns, right? No idea that this was going to happen. Did a really good business plan, but instead of being able to utilize the funds that she had for marketing, that she had put in place for these things, it went straight into rent for her just to try to pay for the lease. So no one got seen because prior to this, this was vacant for 3 years. So the neighborhood Village 7 didn't know about it. Nobody really knew it existed here. And what they had to do, which was so sad, this last month, they sold their home, which was the only thing she owned, to roll funds into keeping this place open. And it is a beautiful, gorgeous place. So I hope she's able to keep it sustained, right? Or that someone can come through or some kind of variance or bill can be passed to help places like this stay open, because it's beautiful. It's great for the community. It's a great place to come and meet. Exactly. And she's got a couple employees at this point. That's all she can afford, right? But at the same time, her whole family's helping her run this business now, just to, again, try to keep it open. She couldn't even afford propane for the heaters outside, which became the new inside outside or outside inside, like however
It's like
this
a
loop
tent-
thing.
It's like a tent house. It's like a big tent house. Except,
Exactly.
so for whatever reason, that's a better situation to be in here for COVID.
And what's interesting, right, is when it comes to the 5-star variance program, right? This is the one that it's actually, I think there's going to be a meeting fairly soon to try and maybe mitigate or negotiate some of the things on it, because what they're asking for in the 5-star variance is, one, they want a list of everyone who comes into the restaurant, name, email, all of these things. Wait.
That thing is so good. That thing is so good.
Squirrel. Yeah, squirrel. It's so good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah.
Wait, pull it. There it is. Look how it's shiny now. He's got a red nose face.
It's so good. Whatever that sauce is like ridiculously good.
Yeah.
This place, everything they have is so good. I like it.
Well, you gotta think too, it's not a chain restaurant too, and it's not a franchise. So
Oh, there's places I won't go. So I won't go. I bet never have I ever, if we were playing that game, never have I ever shopped at Amazon because I hate them.
That's a big one.
I hate Amazon. Like, I'm literally looking right now. I'm always looking at it.
I need to connect you with my friend Jason, who runs an online retailer, created his own website because people
Potion connection. Yep.
because people said you can't do it because Amazon, eBay exists.
Yeah.
Turn around, and he's got like 200 retailers.
Dreamer's Cipher.
I'm a huge anti-Amazon fan. I personally believe that Amazon is destroying the world. Small business and everything else like that. Yeah, them and Walmart are some of the worst things in the entire world, in my opinion. So I'm actually currently in the process. I got to get a TRS to TRSS to TRS cable, and I got to find one that's not on Amazon just because I'm that stubborn. I know where it is. Somebody sent it to me and they said it's right there on Amazon. I said, well, I've been all over town. I haven't been able to find it, but I will find it online from somebody other than Amazon just because I have a huge vendetta. Just because I feel like if there's one thing that's kind of destroying small business, it's Amazon. They want all the money instead of sharing it amongst everyone.
I have that too. Amazon is trying to ruin the world, and I base it solely on Jeff Bezos' laugh. Have you ever heard it?
I've never heard Jeff Bezos' laugh, but I don't want to. It's got to be
sounds like
evil.
Dr. Evil.
He's from Satan. I'll tell you, if there's somebody from Satan, it's Jeff Bezos. There's nobody worse than that guy.
But
Him and Donald Trump. I don't know which was the worst.
No, like that's your opinion, and that's the thing we have to understand is like we can't hold somebody hostage because of their opinion. Like we have to have, we gotta be able to have conversations without getting hamstrung and offended because somebody's belief is this and it doesn't match up with us. But I think the other thing when you look at it too, Amazon's one of those things that's really destroyed people's ideas that it's gonna come quick. And then you have things. I've had a package that showed up in 2 days, and now think about what that does to people's mentality. And they're like, "Oh, I can get this in 2 days," and then we have the issue where our society is a microwave society instead of a crockpot society. And so these are the type of conversations that we have. So, and like with everything that we do, we don't hold anything off the table. So,
Yeah, I just for my stuff. I'm like, shit, I need to get. I keep forgetting.
First time we came here.
What I do?
Well, we were like here, and I'm over here like I'm super neutral, right? Like I am unification and collaboration. Those are my only two pillars. And he first starts out with,
you
and I'm like,
I said that's the government.
something like that. And I'm sitting right next to him, and my face is like,
so the Sweden that's neutral.
I love Sweden. I'd go there all day.
That's the country that's neutral for everything. Switzerland.
They won't let you in though. You're not allowed in.
yes, you are. Well, you were a couple, like a month and a half ago. I don't know what it is now, but my plan was to fly to Rome, right, round trip Rome, but then go Austria, Croatia, Austria, Switzerland, and back.
Yeah, that sounds.
And they were all open. France was closed, but
France is always closed.
still game plan, still on the books.
So before we get completely off topic,
Okay.
no, but I want to go back because I do want to hear about this polymath.
Oh, good Lord, yes. But please take that away so I can eat without it watching.
Yeah, it's not much.
No, the other one.
Well, I was watching a podcast on Coffee with Humans and everything else like that, and it was about Leonardo da Vinci and kind of the way he created and everything else like that. So he slept I think he slept like 20 minutes at a time to get his sleep in so he could create more as he went. And so basically what that polymath is essentially it's multi-versatile. You're good at multiple different categories compared to most people that they're specialized in like one thing essentially. So there's a little bit more to it. They were playing like Name That Pharmaceutical, which was super funny, which was just basically a random name where you're just like, what does that do? So I actually posted something about, well, it was basically, Pfizer, they're taking care of all the vaccines and stuff. And I think the thing was said, well, if you're comfortable enough with them taking care of your dick.
Yes. Yeah, we take care of your penis.
Yeah, we take care of your penis. Yeah, trust us.
I saw that one.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Although I didn't even know they made that. So, because I'm kind of an anti-pharmaceutical person as well. I try everything I can. What?
Hitachi, the company.
What is that?
No, seriously, it's like a huge company for tools,
Oh,
but then they
okay.
make
I
like
was like,
really
did they make that? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I was like,
For some reason, I was thinking that they did the digital toys, the kid toys, that animation.
what's the name of the company?
Hitachi, the Hitachi.
I thought it
ones,
was Hitachi. That's why I was like,
They're like,
For some reason, I was thinking about the little animation watches and toys and figures
I
and
didn't
whatever.
even know that. Well, I knew
maybe you do though, for all we know.
Garage, right? Because of course I'm a girl, so I know the girl side of this, right? And I go in my garage and there's like a table saw with the word Hitachi on it, and I'm like, or Hitachi, how do you say?
I'm like, that doesn't look like what's in my bedroom.
that's horrifying. What is that thing?
drill.
So she knows the
No
whole
wonder
version
their
of the song.
batteries last so long.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, with the 5 for 1.
So maybe you're open to this then, because if you're anti-pharmaceutical and stuff like that, have you ever heard of the sunning community?
No, but it sounds fun.
I don't know if
Apparently, it's here in Colorado somewhere. But apparently, your brown eye is the fourth eye connected to the pineal gland on your third eye by catching sun through your anus.
Okay, that doesn't sound crazy.
I really do
I think that this is just a really weird way of trying to bleach an anus. That's what I'm hearing right now.
But yeah, I mean, there's this whole community of people that are going out there midday. So, maybe you're going for a hike at Garden of the Gods or something like that, and you look over and you're and the picture of this dude was holding his big toes like this.
No way.
Yeah,
Stop
up in
it.
the air, holding his big toes like this. Wow. We're done eating, by the way, so hopefully you are too.
Oh my God, well, I was not, but thank you. This is like breatharianism, right? So like you basically fuel yourself off of air. And that was a huge fad for a while. In fact, there was like a Russian Barbie doll. She looks like a Barbie doll. If you Google breatharian, that's okay. Wait, what'd you get? Give us a spiel on your drink here. Jameson. Well, I like the ginger ale part. Oh, thank you.
Your standard double.
That's cool. I go Malibu with Coke usually.
Drunk is the whole thing.
I told him, I said, support them. Go get some alcohol.
It's Atlanta all over again. I'm just kidding.
Where's the stuff to throw at him? Tell a joke now. All right.
I seriously, like, at this point, he just was trying to like dance monkey. I'm like, but I do.
Funny, that's the whole thing that I'm trying to start just like not under, because I grew up in the suburbs, but I had a lot of hood friends, so it never, it's always like a contrast, and I'm proud of the suburb, like they're just like, yeah, you know what it's like to grow up in the hood? I'm like, no, heavens no.
But not the Colorado suburbs.
You want to go and make this great community?
Like, no, why would I want to go to the hood? I've been there before, and it's not as fun as y'all are making it out to be.
Well, there's a lot of the lingo I never understood. It would be like, that's what's up. Or like a big one for me was like, he knew what time it was. You guys ever heard that?
Oh,
He knew what time it was.
is that the same as like he was on borrowed time?
See, and you're just as confused as me. But some guy, I was talking to my friend Chris, and he's just like, yep, I saw Dante at the gas station. He knew what time it was, so I knocked his ass out. And I'm sitting there like, damn. Knowing the time? You never know what time it is. That's probably why people are late.
It's a matter of defense. If I know what time it is, my life is endangered.
Everybody's late. This isn't racist or anything, but you know what it's called, right? It's called CPT time. My buddy told it, my friend, he goes, it's called color people time. Because he said it's CPT time because he's like, we're always late no matter what. Because I get always mad as hell because I'm like, man, you're always late 30 minutes. And I hung out with him long enough to where now I'm always late. Like I was late like 20 minutes today.
This is so funny. I messaged him this morning and I was like, I don't think I'm going to be there till 12:30, right? We were going to meet at 12. And he's like, that's cool because I'm not dressed yet. I'm like, cool, because I'm just waking up. This is like, I don't know, 12 when we're messaging.
That's okay. I intentionally say 12:30. I intentionally say 12:30, but I set the live to go at 12:45, knowing that I'm probably going to be late. So it's a whole thing. But statistically speaking, people who are running late typically live longer. So you're actually preserving your life by being
a lot of creative people too are.
We're all gonna live forever. Yeah. We're all living forever. We're good.
I don't know if I'm living forever, but I definitely am late all the time.
Yeah, but it's a true stat though. So
if you're late, you're safer.
If you're chronically late, yes.
Anything you would like to say, because I've been kind of giving Cynthia's story a little bit. But we would love to hear. She's like, please don't put me on.
Oh man, no, this is delicious. Easy to support. You
Oh
know,
my god, it's amazing. And the fries are so good.
everything's so
Like
good.
the fries are
So good. Yeah, it is
well,
really
it was interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question if that's all right, because I know you kind of were going towards a food truck deal, right? And then Cynthia was like, let's go bar. I want a restaurant bar. I think
good.
this
I'm
is
trying
an
to diet.
incredible dream as is.
So good.
If you guys are running a food truck, how do you think it might be different right now? He's like, I might still have a hole.
Right? You know, from what I've noticed, like driving, past places, food trucks seem to be killing it, which is great. I love to see them getting the business and everything like that, just because they're working their butts off. Two, I think it might have been a little easier just because, you don't have to worry about so much restrictions on, you don't have people sitting in your truck. You're not counting on that money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you'd have that peace of mind where you don't have to fight that uphill battle like a brick and mortar shop does.
Right.
But I'm glad we have the space we have.
Well, I told, I told Cynthia, to Paula, thank you, Scott, Patrick, again, two native sons. Tabala pivoted Thursday night, and we closed down Tabala. However, I would be super happy to park out there. We can do free, free or half price tacos, anything like that for anyone who orders a drink. And if they order food from y'all, they get an extra meal from us for free. Just to give you guys some exposure, we could utilize trucks like that if that might help restaurants. If that's something you think might help.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something that we'll have to stick around.
Yeah, it's just ideas.
Definitely. And we can do things like where any of our clients who are buying insurance and stuff like that, we turn around and just pay for a meal, something like that. So, yeah, a lot of ways, whatever we can do to help.
You know what, too, on the food truck side of things, the fact that the restaurants and breweries are the indoor dining thing that's closing these guys down hurts the food truck community tremendously, because you guys are our strongest hookups. For food trucks, typically what they want to do is they want to hook up with like Goat Patch or Nano or these places, and without them allowing indoor dining, right, they don't get to serve the food, because there's a state mandate that says that they cannot serve alcohol without food, right?
Right.
And so
Does that protect COVID? Like if you don't have alcohol and food together, is that why they did
I
that?
think it just protects from the drinking and driving possibilities.
yep. And so,
Oh, you
but
can't
the
do that,
fact
period.
that
So you can't have a bar without food? I
but
thought
see,
you can.
no, and what made that so difficult too, right? That became really challenging for the food truck owners, because guess what? If they're parked at a bar for 8 hours and they make 7 sales, that's nothing, right? So then the food trucks can't hook up with the bars and help promote them nearly as much. And now the bars are having to see all this inconsistency with the food trucks, because what normally would have been a wonderful spot for them, now they make absolutely no money. So it really hurts everyone in the community, is my point.
Yeah. It's
It's got to be rough out there for them too.
It's got to change.
It definitely
Something's got to change.
It's got to change.
People need to eat. People need to blow off those.
Without going to Walmart to eat. I hate those rotisserie chickens at this point. I've been eating those. I'm like, man, I'm so tired of those damn. I promise you, 2020, there's been more rotisserie chickens eaten than anything I've ever heard of in my life.
Like, is this cold? Is this Rona hair? Because you're literally snipping people's hair in line at Walmart because of how long the lines are. And this 6-foot rule is hilarious. It's more like 6 centimeters.
I've never seen anyone like us. And at the checkout.
You got your chin diapers 101, right? Because nobody believes in masks at Walmart. Yep. Exactly what it is.
It's like a gym.
But here, right, every single time a party leaves, and I've seen it at every single restaurant prior to stopping with the indoor dining and all that, every single one had some kind of, totem that had a red or green side if it was clean or not, because you guys go around, y'all sanitize every single surface before the next person sits. Like, y'all stipulations are so much stronger to keep people healthy. It's already so much less, and there's so much more ventilation. So none of it actually makes sense from a viral standpoint either. That's the reality. I mean, you can check out, even the CDC guidelines do not comply with absolutely anything of these orders.
Right.
It's worth looking up, by the way. Don't trust me, look it up.
I just want to say thank you again so much, you guys, for the exposure and the support, and all your viewers. Thank you so much. You stop by and see us at 3535 North Carefree Avenue.
Yes, order some food, order some drinks.
Drinks,
It's delicious.
We have a patio, and we'll be looking to warm that up a little bit.
We've got an orchard heater ready to be donated for y'all if y'all want it.
Excellent.
Can't donate the propane, unfortunately,
That's
but
okay.
we got the orchard heater at least.
Cool.
So if you want that, it's y'all's.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Done.
For our patrons would love it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good day.
So let's just go roundtable real quick and just discuss, some of the highlights for, the food that you tasted. I guess since the camera's on me, I'll start. Honestly, I had a little bit of everything. We had the chili, had the buffalo Philly. We had the nachos. I mean, the brisket just falls apart. I mean, it's really incredible food. So honestly, like I was surprised by this because, we do a lot of these, and we go places and, I've heard great things about the food. We were actually supposed to come up here a few weeks ago, but I got hit with COVID, and I think that, there's just some timing that it didn't work. But honestly, I'm glad to be out here, be out and about with people. God, I miss people. I miss food. Yeah, all those things. But more importantly, I'm glad to be here in a spot to help small and local businesses, especially one with an amazing story. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I'm willing to help anybody who's willing to help themselves. And I don't think that there's a better story to tell where they literally sold their home to chase their dreams. And that's an incredible feat in itself. That's a huge leap of faith. And so I feel like as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who lives right here in Colorado Springs, that lives down the street, that we need to do our part to be able to help. And so anything helps, guys. A donation, ordering a meal, ordering a drink, coming in, posting, liking their Facebook page, sharing their stuff on there. All those different things goes a very long way. So again, just make sure that you're doing your part. And it's opportunities like this for us to showcase what real community is. And, so if you're moving forward and you're watching this, regardless if it's live or on the replay, it's never too late. It's never too late to reach out to them, see what you can do. If you have resources that doesn't cost money, that's great. If you're able to spend some time to be able to share some of that, it's all going to be beneficial. So, yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts, Matt?
So, my thoughts are basically, I mean, the reality is, we can support our local community and compared to supporting large scale McDonald's, which is gross, McRib, gross, whatever the hell that double cheeseburger, gross. Or you can come and spend $3 more, $4 more, and end up with a bison burger here, and all you have to do is think ahead 12 minutes before you leave. I understand, having to get out of your car to walk in and everything else like that, but for me, it's right. So for me, if you have the ability to basically go and support a local business, why wouldn't you do that? I know that a lot of people are hyped up about In-N-Out and everything else like that, but why? I ate here and I've got brought In-N-Out there, and I'm going, why on earth would anybody ever eat at In-N-Out when you can eat here and have some of the best food on earth and pay about the same amount of money for it? You know what I mean? I understand quick convenience and everything else like that, but you're waiting in line for a damn hour just to go get a burger that's not even good. You can come here and get one of the best burgers you'll ever have in your entire life, plus you're also supporting, our community and the people in it and all the things that kind of come with that. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer to kind of always try to shop local in the event that we can, and I understand that sometimes we don't always have the ability to do that, but for the most part, we really kind of do, I guess that's all I know.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, thoughts on pretty much that. He said it all. Support your local businesses.
Wait, let me preface this really quick, Dan. So as someone who supported In and Out, how long did you wait?
Oh, you got thrown into the bus.
But that's different. It's nostalgia. I'm from where they were created. I just haven't had it in years.
Excuses. You're one of those. Did you know? Okay. Did you know people waited 15 hours in line? I was watching. So they had like the first day this place was open, they're waiting 15 hours for a damn burger. I'm like,
how many flowers I can create in 15 hours?
flowers?
Flyers.
Flyers?
I can create like one, but still.
You're great at flyers.
But I mean, I rely on local, but there's no like, I mean, there are chain comedy clubs, I guess, that are in multiple cities, but for the most part, if you're a new comedian, I rely on places like this to host open mics. I'd be in the corner over there telling jokes to people half listening, and that's where we start, at these breweries. We don't have open mics at Walmart or Target or fucking all those other places. Like
That's so true.
Let's do it.
solely rely on.
Let's do one at Walmart. You know, it got.
They're probably trying to kick us out and we just run.
Yeah, this is actually a true statement here because he told me he was starting to lose hope, right, because of the shutdown.
Oh yeah. There's nowhere to perform for me right now.
Oh,
Actually,
legitimately, I was going to do this for real estate. I was going to magnet my car during this COVID thing when we weren't allowed to go there, and I was going to leave it in the parking lot and say, take one. Because I couldn't come up with hardly anything of basically how to market myself. Because, it's
Just like take a magnet from your car.
just leave it there for like a month. Because we couldn't even go anywhere.
That's hilarious. That's so true, though. That's
yeah,
exactly it.
I was just starting to lose hope. I have hope only because the vaccine's out. Maybe next year it'll open up. But yeah, as of now, in this area, there's nowhere to perform. Everywhere got shut down. The places that were fighting it, still trying to have shows. Someone called. There was someone would snitch.
We need to get in-home comedy.
All on stage. It's true.
Teresa, let's have it at your house.
Pair up with dinner, right?
Teresa,
Let's
you
order food, or you order a package, and you get Marcus to come in and perform along, and he brings you your dinner from your local restaurant, right? So, I mean, we got to think outside the box of different ways. But again, Colorado Springs is 85% small and local business. Okay, you guys don't realize how much of it. So, as these businesses are shutting down, as they're going away, the goal and hope is that, in the past, they've been replaced with other small local businesses, or people are turning around. Maybe a chef learns all these things, right? And they turn around and maybe open their own restaurant. But we're not seeing that right now. We're just seeing people straight shut down and not coming back. And so this is why it's so scary and why we need to do our parts, because this is where, how we're going to be able to get through all of this stuff together.
Oh, if you think about that, 85% of the community in Colorado Springs is small businesses. That's the backbone of the community. Think about that. 85%.
That's the back and the front bone. There's nothing. 15% is getting the majority of support right now. That's weird.
And you posted something on Facebook talking about if somebody was going to spend $100, or if everybody would go spend $100 at a small business,
Yeah.
that's $3 million that's going back in the economy.
Well, so California did raise $100,000 by each person putting in $10. So think about that. Think about how that's 1,000 people, right? I think I got that right. Or is it 10,000? I'm terrible with math. Too many zeros, and I don't know where the decimal goes. Leave me alone. Anyway.
Pretty sure it's closer to 100,000.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right, $10 per person. Anyone can give 10. Well, I say anyone. Most people can give $10, right? But
We spent $10 easily on Amazon.
we easily could make that happen. Think about how many people we could help with that. And again, Dan Dreyfus, who owns Pies and Grinders, is putting together right now, and we've already had a huge influx. I'm printing out the flyers, go figure. But also, if any business would like or needs a flyer made for them, they can't afford to give $25 from their business, you can absolutely contact me, Jasper Axelrad, AXELRAD on Facebook. I'm the only one. Or Tobala Cuisine. Any of these places, I will make a flyer for you. I will have it emailed, printed out, and Dan himself will purchase $25 from your business if you're hurting and cannot give to it. So you can be part of the support and potentially part of someone who receives the funds from these raffled baskets. All local businesses putting in, and they're getting raffled off. So all the local businesses get help, and then also one business or two businesses, however we can raffle this, should get, hopefully we can generate a couple $1,000s to give them.
Well,
So
and I
that's
think the other thing too is businesses kind of have to get creative, and like there was a site I came through on Facebook yesterday. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. So it's a smaller version of Patreon, but with the Buy Me a Coffee, people can go in there and do a quick donation. I've got mine set up. I set it up yesterday, so somebody can go in there, a quick $3 donation, but then you can set it up for a monthly membership or a yearly, and then individuals can go on there. A lot of it's actually just blogging, so you're writing up your, like I talked about my thoughts from our flipped interview that we had done, and that's a public post, but you can create a membership where your members pay to get access to that member only products. And so there's many different ways, and a lot of business owners are very creative. So go create a Twitch stream, go live stream, go do something. Yeah.
You know, and I think it's something really important here, right? We're focusing on businesses right now, small local businesses, but why, right? Here's a huge why, in my opinion, is because people who own businesses, not only is that directly affecting their livelihood, their family, right? But they care desperately about their employees. They are the ones who create the jobs so that others get fed, right? That's a huge part of this. And it's a huge part of insurance too, because they can offer insurance to people to where you're not having to pay major medical costs on infinite levels that an individual can't afford, right? So when you have a local business owner who has employees, and not only are they concerned about those employees, again, individuals and their families, their sphere of who they impact becomes much larger. So when these guys are hurting, it hurts the entire community. It trickles down. And on top of it, especially with Colorado Springs, which I'm sure everyone is well aware of, it's got a like 4.75% growth rate above the nation. It is huge. So keep in mind, just because these local businesses are going under and can't afford potentially to stay and live here anymore, you're going to get foreclosures on homes. It's not that those homes will be bought with cash very quickly, right? But you lose the community aspect at that point. So it becomes so important in that area.
Well, and I think the other thing too that you really look at is with these type of the restaurants here with Cynthia and her family, you have a feel where you can get to know the owner, they can get to know you, they can build that family. And so it's one of those things that I think people forget that too, is with these type of setups is that family feel. And then the owners really do care about the community and are driven on building relationships with the members of the community. And you got to think, when you go to a big chain restaurant, a big chain store, how often are you seeing that? And that's few and far between. Starbucks, of course, you go and they've got their stuff, but it's not authentic. And so that's another sad thing when you truly think about it. The impact that it has is you have that loss of the feel, the family feel, and like what's O'Keefe's first name? James, the lawyer.
Oh, Joseph O'Keefe.
Yeah, so he was talking about the fact that this whole freedom of speech and whatnot really did start back when the founding fathers founded America. A lot of that was occurring in the taverns, and so it's that space where they were talking about politics. And the other thing that he had brought up was the fact that our veterans with PTSD and that brotherhood and that sisterhood are losing out on spots to go and be there for each other. And that's very impactful, because that is that support system that with veterans that are dealing with that, it's necessary. You've got to have that community, because a lot of people that have never served in the military don't understand the full impact that that can have on people. I served 9 years active duty. I did 4 deployments on active duty, but I've never I don't have PTSD. but being part of that brotherhood, it is a very dangerous thing if they don't have that community and they can't come together and build the camaraderie and be there for each other, because they know what it's like. They've all gone through it. And so it's just very sad when you start looking at things that are more underneath the umbrella of not the economy, but just the human spirit. Because as humans, we're social creatures. We're meant to be around each other. And people are getting Zoom fatigued, technology fatigued. Well,
think about the role it plays even on biological level with your eyes to be on a phone this frequently. Even if you have your red filter, right? You get free apps like Twilight that can help do a red light so it's a lower energy beam. You're still receiving that blue light. Again, biological level, it affects your pineal gland, which creates your melatonin, helps you sleep in a restful level.
Then you gotta go
So
sunning.
true too.
And then you
It's
gotta
so
go butt hunting.
the other suck that up.
We're gonna go to Hitachi first. We're gonna go to Hitachi.
The other thing, the other thing that we run into is the human brain searches for faces. And so you'll hear people that are like, oh, I see a face in the clouds, I see a face in the tree. Because your brain is looking for that. That's what it sees. And so when you're on a screen, it's that connection, but it's not the authentic connection. So it does cover the connection piece. I think that's another reason that I go live all the time, just because I know I've got something to provide. I got value and whatnot.
Let's be honest, people are searching for Scott's face.
I told Patrick, I was like, once you start going live, it's like a drug. It's like a freaking drug.
I like when I can see them and hearing them. I mean, if I'm doing something in the shower or something, seeing them isn't a big deal. But I like
faces in the shower.
Can I do? I do want to highlight one thing though here that I don't think it's a big deal for me. But how clean the restaurant is.
I know, it's spotless.
The floors, when you hear bar, you fully expect to step on stickiness and, you pulling up your shoe and stuff like that, but it's not like that here. And so that's another aspect as to why that word, maybe bar, is kind of misleading, because honestly, this is one of the cleanest restaurants I've been in.
Well, it is. And then on top of that, you have this Christmas scene. Yeah. I gotta show people this. Yes. I was looking at this Christmas scene like,
This one.
my mom would
Oh, I did lose my shit. First time I saw it,
I
was
think
she thought it was because I was listening to her story. I was just like, oh my god.
I think the having bar in it goes back to the whole fact of the tavern piece.
Well, and it's the
that comes
history
together,
for
yeah.
her too, right?
Yeah.
So.
And again, just for the people who did jump on a little later, I just want to give those resources again of all the different people coming together to help. We've got a toy drive going on here, along with 2 other locations right now. FEC United posted out about this, and you can bring a toy here or just money so they can buy some toys. You want it new and unwrapped, right? They'll wrap it for you. And you can drop that off Carefree Bar and Grill. You also have 719 Co's got a meeting on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Shutdowns, Ruined Towns, right? This is not about protest. This is about coming together to make meaningful steps in a creative and collaborative way, right? And then you've got, and I'm really excited, they're going to be selling shirts, and I know 75% of that profit's going to go back to helping people who need it, right? And they're cool shirts. I'm excited to get on that. You've got 2 native sons who have been highlighting local businesses right and left. I will stream every one of these things onto Bala Cuisine so that they can get seen. And then with Matt, we're going to sit there and just try and get it seen on any social media platform possible. He's got so many of them that he's working on, the poor guy. Then you've got Dan Dreyfus with Pies and Grinders. Any local business. You don't need to be a restaurant or bar, right? $25 is what we're asking. You can't give that. That's okay. We can make it happen. Many different avenues. If you are wanting to do one of the if you're at your last end resort and your business needs to open because it's going to close permanently, and you're looking at civil distress essentially, right? There are people working on that too. contact me again, Jasper Axelrad on Facebook or Tobala Cuisine. It'll come to me. Two Native Sons can get you guys in touch with me. Matt Mormon can get you in touch, whatever, and I will get you to the right resource there. So we have so many different efforts going on. Public Health Safety Department is working on the 5-star variants to make it something more realistic. And there's just a lot of different efforts going on. So don't give up hope.
One more time, what's the address here so people can remember where it is and make sure that we let them know again? Is it 3535 North Carefree? Is that correct?
Yep.
3535 North Carefree. You should come check it out. I can't remember that. It's right on southeast corner of Carefree and Academy. Check it out. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the food. It is absolutely legit. I got it right. How the hell did I remember that?
Well, maybe not here, but I totally wanted to talk a little bit about some of the videos I've been seeing going on about the vaccine, but totally separate. But I totally want to give a little bit of background on some of that too at some point.
Grown to the Sock podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't get me started on vaccines.
No, I'm with you, but here's the thing, right? There's certain things that people have to understand what the word means, because it can sound very scary.
So,
I know.
I was telling my wife last night, if life has taught me anything, you never buy first generation anything, right? PlayStations, Xboxes, vaccines, you wait till they fix out.
First generation.
Yeah, we can have a whole conversation. But no, like, you know, I'm a firm believer that, like, we need to work out some of the kinks before some of those things. I even heard
How quickly they came out with the vaccine.
exactly, because traditional vaccines take at least a year,
Yeah.
right? But I was reading, and again, I don't know how true this is.
Current, by the way, this
Yeah.
vaccine's never been created before. It is the first of its
Correct.
kind.
So we should try it on Polis first and see if it
I
works.
heard in Australia, one of the side effects are that people were testing positive for HIV.
So
I don't know if that's real.
I read this. I looked at the source on this. It's interesting. It's a specific glycoprotein that HIV, the virus, attaches to. It's called GP42, right? That stands for glycoprotein 42. It's part of any CD4 cell. CD4 cell is just part of your immune system. Everybody has it. So what it happens, right, is, and this is what I was kind of talking about. There was a video that was streaming the box of the virus, and they highlighted the word recombinant, right? This is what I think is actually kind of beautiful, because most people, unless you're super interested, like some weirdo over here who's got Ebola painted on her wall, right? Like, unless you're super interested in viruses, in immunology, in these types of things, you're not going to have looked this up before. It's going to sound really freaking scary. But the way that vaccines after the 1970s actually work is by splicing DNA typically, right? To utilize that as a way to help your body create antibodies to it. So that's actually, it always integrates with your DNA. There's different kinds of vaccines, and there's a really easy little sheet that kind of tells you what the different kinds are, but they're called attenuated, meaning they take, am I like totally losing people?
I got you.
Okay.
I understand.
Education is the thing right now.
And I'm totally doing it. Exactly, right? Now he's like, man, I thought I bombed, but recombinant. Recombinant means taking two different genetics, right? Two different DNAs, basically splicing them and putting them together. That can sound scary. So a lot of people are really scared. They're like, they're altering my DNA, right? Well, guess what? Pretty much everything in your body does that. Your bacteria does it. And the way we used to look at bacteria were really scary for a very long
Oh, man,
time.
you kiss somebody, your DNA
Freaking
changes.
terrible,
You
right?
kiss multiple people, your DNA
That's
changes.
mononucleosis. That's mononucleosis.
Does it really happen? So if I kiss somebody, my DNA changes?
Well, think about even in your mouth.
Yeah.
Your mouth has more bacteria than just about any other
You
area.
want to hear something that's kind of disgusting?
There's
In
lots of
LA?
bacteria.
When you when you release your fluids,
This is not the school I wanted to go to.
when you release your fluids into somebody else,
Oh man.
that DNA is permanently stays on that person.
Wait, what are y'all talking about? Coffee and a movie.
Wow.
Seriously, this is
That
exactly how it
person
works.
permanently has your DNA on.
For the life?
For the life.
Oh man.
But the whole premise of a vaccine in general, whether you're looking at your smallpox,
You're like,
your hepatitis B vaccine is the same way. It does the same thing. It basically takes part of it to create immunity in your body.
My high school days were.
So why do you say recombinant? That's what it's talking about. So yes,
You
there
get
is
stuck
an
with anthrax.
integration.
Even though it's a dead version of anthrax, but I got stuck 6 times with it.
Inactivated versions of a pathogen is what they're called, right? Inactivated versions is another type of vaccine. So these are all types of vaccines, and I think it's important for people to understand that. What's really interesting, first time ever with this vaccine, is this is an RNA vaccine. So y'all have heard of DNA versus RNA. We don't need to go into the difference there, but the bottom line is this is the first time an RNA vaccine's ever been made. What does that mean for the public? It means that there cannot be GMO involved, right? There can't be the additives that people are worried about on such high levels. So when they were saying people were having antibodies to HIV, it wasn't necessarily that. It was more that where HIV would normally dock to a cell was not able to dock to that. If anything, I think that's something that needs to be looked into a hell of a lot more.
Okay, so I've been lost for a
Leave it for the comedian. He's got notes going on.
Is it good or bad?
I'm not going to go on either side here because at the end of the day, I know, I'm not here to say good or bad. That's not, I'm here to educate and that's it. You guys make your own decision.
It's just a situation we were last. Sounds like to me.
We had Professor Axelrad come in with some heat today.
Previous Xboxes, PS5s, anything that you bought first gen is always broken down, right? They blow up, they turn on fire. But first iPhone 5s, right, when they first came out, yes.
Best compliment or what is it, dating line I ever got was like, you're hotter than the Samsung something. They were blowing up on planes.
Yes.
And I was like, man, okay, you won on that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I gotta. So my dating line was it was on my one of my profiles or whatever. It said, "If COVID doesn't take you out, can I?"
Oh man, that's
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
So we got Danielle McCarthy that just sent me a text. She's not watching it right now, but she said 2 Native Sons and all your other podcasts, Facebook Lives, and Dreamer Cypher need to have Dave Gallo as a guest to get his information and how he helps businesses in their debt. How do we make this happen? ASAP.
On the whole strings right now, guys. That's true. Dave Gallo.
Yeah.
If you type in at DAVEGALLO Consulting, I believe it'll come up. Right? He helps mitigate businesses going under. He will help you find angel investors, grants, all kinds of stuff. Oh, I was trying to get it to rhythm for you to dance to. Anyway, if you guys are hurting, right? The only profit he gets from that is if he secures money for you. He gets some profit of the money he secured for you. So it's win-win. Definitely should be reaching out to him.
100%.
He was actually at the fine dining and the cocktail mix they had. So
Yeah.
I don't know black hat too.
Guys, I hope that this has been informative of the situations that's been going on. But I, honestly, again, the reason for this collaboration is to paint the real picture that businesses are going under and that we're doing what we can to help. And so I hope that this has been informative. I hope it's been entertaining. And again, if you guys have any information or need information, please don't hesitate to reach out, comment, shoot us a direct message. Jasper, Scott, and I'll make sure that everybody's tagged. But ultimately, the reason for our collaboration today is we just wanted to help out a small and local business that is struggling. And so if that's something that you resonate with, then please, again, come in, order some food, take food to go, share their Facebook page, like their Facebook page, all those different things. The little things are all going to add up. If you're in a position, maybe buy a meal from here for somebody else. Again, just all those things are going to help out. We can't thank you enough for your support and tuning in. And again, you know, this is just a collaboration of people who want to help support small and local, and I think that's something we can all get on board with, and we understand.
Who watches?
3535 North Carefree.
Yes.
Don't forget.
Don't forget.
Badass food. Don't forget. 3535 North Carefree. Southeast corner of North Carefree and Academy.
There you go. You heard it here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Peace, later.